Hi everybody, I'm Gail Annis Porter, coming to you from the lobby area of Linden-Linthicum United Methodist Church in Clarksville, Maryland. By the time you get this, it'll be just one day before a big celebration, Halloween, which is becoming a favorite holiday for a lot of people. What's not to like, really? There are a lot of great things about it. Pumpkins, decorations, candy, and costumes. Costumes are a really important part of Halloween. I was thinking about costumes and what happens when we put a costume on, when we put on an outfit that's not our own and we try to become somebody else. I was reminded of an article that I read recently in which Hilary Swank is talking about a role that she played one time. It was a movie called Boys Don't Cry, and she played the role of a transgender person. And in the article that I read, she said that after playing that role, that she walked in the world differently and has ever since, because of taking on the persona of another person by putting on that costume for that role. And she was able to empathize, to have some compassion for someone whose life experience was different from hers. I thought about that, and I thought that's really important. When we put on a costume, we get to take on the role of somebody else. We get to think about what it's like to be somebody else, what it's like to live in their world, to walk in their shoes. I remember a phrase that I learned as a child, coming from the Native American tradition, that you shouldn't judge someone until you walk a mile in their moccasins. Perhaps you were told that as well. Before you get all upset about somebody else, think about what it's like to be them, what their experience is, what their struggles are as well. And so I started thinking about that as a person of faith, and I remembered some words from the book of Hebrews, chapter 4. And it talks about how it is that God decided to put on a costume, to take on a role, to walk a mile or a lifetime in our world, and to take that on, to understand what it's like to be us. And this is what the writer of Hebrews says. We don't have a high priest who can't sympathize with our weaknesses, but instead one who was tempted in every way that we are, except without sin. Finally, let's draw near to the throne of favor with confidence so that we can receive mercy and find grace when we need help. Now, we all need mercy and we all need grace. And there's always times when we need some help. And the coming of Jesus, the willingness of God to take on that costume, to play that role, to empathize, to know what it's like to be us, means that when we need help, when we need grace, we have it. I'm thankful for that, whether it's Halloween or any other time. And I invite you to think about that as well, what you have received from God and how it is that you can live with empathy and compassion for others as you think about what it's like to be them, offering the grace that you have received. Amen.